Okay, story time.
Do.
Okay, so, my dad was in the Navy for a lot of years, and we lived a lot of different places. This particular time, it was Seal Beach, California. Prior to that, we lived in Alamitos and some other places, but my dad had bought a beautiful, beautiful home for us in Seal Beach. And I believe it was a brand new built home because it was the newest on the block. But anyway, last time I was there, it was still there. Yeah, we were really... My mom was really good at spending money. We always had the best, so she spent my daddy's money very well when they were married and after that. But anyway, the big thing to go to was the Long Beach Pike. One, it was cheaper than Disneyland because Disneyland you had to pay for every single ride.
In 1/2 mile,
you had to buy
turn
these
right.
ticket books. And we can figure out what this individual is attempting to do when there's no parking on this street. At Disneyland, you had to buy ticket books, and then each ticket would go to so many different rides, so you had to make a decision on which ride you were going to use it on. And anyway, the Pike was there for years and years and years and years. I mean, way back. And it had a really cool roller coaster and some funny little rides and cotton candy. They'd make it right in front of you. It was really cool. They had the spin art thing. They had some weird stuff like midgets. You could pay so much to go in and look at a real midget inside this little room. Or they would have the mummy girl or the Medusa girl or all those weird things like that. And then they had a bingo hall there for years. Photo booth, arcades, arcade games. It was really fun. It was down near where the Long Beach Convention Center is. You could see it from the distance, the Long Beach Convention
In
Center.
In 2 1/4 miles, turn right.
And it was right down there on the water. And it is the prettiest thing, especially at night when the big Ferris wheel and the roller coaster and all that were lit up and stuff. It was really neat, but it was really, really old. If you ever look up on the internet about the Long Beach Pike, P-I-K-E, there's a lot of videos and old pictures of it too. What a cool place. We always thought it was neat, but my dad always told me, it's a dangerous place, you have to stay together, you know, there's a lot of sailors hanging around down here and stuff. And, as a matter of fact, when I grew up, after I had left home, he would say stuff like, you don't want to be hanging around down at the Pike down there, you know, and those tattoo parlors are no good, because they lick the needle and you get diseases and all that stuff. And, yeah, he was not a great fan of Long Beach Pike. You know, it was just something we went to when we were really, really little. And my mom would take us there too. It was so cool. I just loved going to the Pike. Even after I grew up, I loved going to the Pike. And I think everybody did. But through the years, they kind of deleted parts of the Pike. And I was there right before they tore the rest of it down. And there sure wasn't much left. The Pike was charming. The last time I went down there was in, I think, around the 80s. The early 80s. Yeah, about the early 80s or late 70s. I venture to say it was the early 80s. And all there was left was like one tattoo parlor, the arcade, the bingo hall, and one little hamburger joint in a building. Everything else
turn
was
left,
pretty
then
well
turn
gone.
left.
You know, the big roller coaster had been closed for several years. They deemed it unsafe at one point. And they
turn left, then turn right.
Had a smaller roller coaster. They kept that open for a long time, but all those rides they were tearing them down and stuff like that. But they had this one ride, and I was thinking it was the Wild Ride of Mr. Toad or something, that the last name it had was what?
Laugh in the Dark.
Laugh in the Dark. And this thing was really weird. I don't know. The best way I could really describe it was something like riding in a cart in a coal mine underground. You got in this little cart, and I think it was like 2 people per cart.
In 2 miles,
That's
turn
what I'm
left.
thinking it is. And it ran on like this railroad track thing, I guess. And, it's electric ride. It pulls you through whatever or something, I don't know. But, or it pulled by chain. I can't remember how it went. But you went in this building, and then it was totally dark, and then there would flash lights, like a green light or a blue light or a red light. And then, I don't know if it was a live person or a recording. It was probably a live person on a mic. And they would go, and, screaming, doing weird stuff while you're riding through there. And this rickety little cart that you sat in would jerk back and forth, side to side, stop, and then like these mummies and stuff would come out of the ceiling and nearly hit you in the head. And then they would pop out to the side and nearly touch you. And it was really creepy. And then all of a sudden you came out the back door to sunlight, Or if you went down there at night, then it would be nighttime. And what a weird ride. But we always thought that was really cool, And so, a lot of that stuff looked like real dead people. And people used to laugh at me, and I'm like, I'm telling you, that stuff looks like dead people. Because I went in that thing right before they closed that ride, and it still looked creepo, and still scary. And I don't know if they rigged it up where they would push the mannequins and stuff or whatever, the creatures into you, or if it was motorized or how that went. I don't know if it was recorded or a mic. It really seemed more like there was people pushing the creatures around towards you, and it really sounded more like if there was a guy on the mic making all those sounds. So anyway, what come to know years later is that there was actually really a dead guy in that ride. No lie, if you think I'm kidding. They apparently went down to go film a movie.
A TV show called The $6 Million Man.
$6 Million Man. Oh, I remember that movie. That was the Bionic Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they were filming that show, and they were using that ride, and one of the people on the set had touched one of the dummies, whatever it is, the creatures and mummies, whatever they are, and the arm fell off. And then when he picked it up to stick it back on or tape it on with duct tape or whatever they were going to do with it, he noticed that it appeared to have a real bone inside the arm. And, there was always a story about there's really dead people in there. And then I'd tell people, I'd say, man, there's a dead guy. And they're like, nuh-uh. So, it's really funny because that article is online.
In 1/4 mile, turn left.
And the Long Beach Pike has long since been plowed down and closed, and they were scheduled to put condominiums out there or something, which was so sad. Why they would ever tear the Pike down? That's just lame. That's like closing Disneyland. That's just lame. I mean, a Pike was more iconic than Disneyland.
Yeah.
It really was. It was nifty. But, so, that's a true story. There's a dead guy inside that ride at the Pike. And, if my baby sister's listening to this,
turn left.
It's true. If you think I'm joking, look it up.
Look up the name Elmer McCurdy.
That's the name of the dead guy, right?
Yep.
Yep, dead guy.
He died 65 years before that in 1911.
Charming, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The real dead guy in the ride. So, true story. I was there and I seen it myself. And so there it is in writing. But the Pike was an incredible place. But yeah, so I guess anything's possible. But I'm gonna tell you, that was a really scary ride. It really was. And it felt like it was gonna break and stuff. It just felt like didn't even work right. I mean, going through there, was so rickety. But it was the cool thing, and heck, it was probably 50 cents to ride on that thing. I don't know, but I was involved in the Save the Pike petition and the Save the Pike events because they really wanted to try to save the Pike.
In 1.5
so much of it was so
turn
old,
right.
and they tore so much of it down. It would have been really neat if they would have rebuilt it because it was an iconic place for Long Beach. It was really a lot of fun. It was so much cheaper than the Disneyland, and they had a lot of different cool stuff that you could do instead of spending $1 million going to Disneyland. It was more like a kid's thing, like going to a kid's fair. It was fun, except for some of that liar stuff where they had like the live Medusa, and you paid, like $3 to go see the live Medusa or see the midget or something.
Tourist trap.
Yeah, just some goofy crap. Because a lot of it, you're like, I'm so sure. Or the chick with the hair on her that looked like a gorilla. It's like, yeah, sure. They had some weird stuff down there, but it was a really neat place. But anyway, true story. The dead guy in the ride. Yep.
And today, still today, he is buried, and they put a thick layer of concrete atop of the casket,
To keep them from stealing
to
that body.
ensure the corpse will go walking about again.
Wow.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, it'd be amazing to know why he ended up there.
Apparently, it says in here that a carnival guy, owner of the Long Beach Pike of Carnival rides, found out that nobody claimed the body, so he said it was his long-lost relative. Got the body, hung it up, and used it for a star attraction.
Oh, Jesus.
And before that, the person who embalmed the body, when they got the guy in the place, he was embalmed the body and asked people to see the body to place nickels inside the mouth of the body. Eek.
Yeah, I heard something about that too.
Yes.
About coins.
Yeah, place a nickel in its mouth.
God.
5 years. The carnival man turned up at the funeral home claiming to be a long-lost relative and requested to take the body so it could be laid to rest properly. He was, of course, lying through his teeth within weeks. The McCurdy corpse was the star attraction of the traveling carnival.
I bet the guy died, and they never were able to prosecute him for hanging a dead body in a
For
kid's
60
ride.
years, the mummy made the rounds of the carnival, wax museums, haunted houses, until it...
No!
Yep, it went everywhere.
Used him up.
Yeah,
That guy was famous after death.
yeah,
Oh my
he
gosh.
was famous before death and famous after death because in 1911 he was a mischief-making, robbed a train near Oklahoma, took his spoils, $46 and 2 jugs of whiskey north, where he holed up in a barnyard on the Kansas border. Police pursued him and ended up killing him in the shootout amongst the hay.
Jeez. Amazing.
Yeah.
1911, he was dead. Gosh.
And then all the way up till 76, they did not know it was a real body.
Well, because they were doing a Bionic Man, the $6 Million Man. Did you ever see that show?
No.
Yeah, every time he would get ready to jump like
Turn right.
800 feet to the next city or whatever it was, he used to do all this weird stuff. He would go boing, yoing, yoing. That's wild. Anyway, yeah.
They've been really funny.
Charlie's Angels, Bionic Man,
Oh, God. I did
and
Charlie's
Heart to Heart
Angels.
with that guy that killed his wife.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, did I say that?
Robert Wagner?
Yeah, I'm going to do a vlog about that.
Later on.
My dad was involved with that
In
investigation.
1 mile, turn right.
Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. I hope you have a great one. Love to you. True stories.